Welcome back to another episode of Profit from Legal. In today's episode, we're going to be talking about 2 free gifts we have to give away. The first gift is the Profit from Legal report that talks about legal profitability, what it is, how to measure it, and why it matters for your small to medium business. The second gift is our 5 Legal Ease Canvas, a problem-solving and relationship management tool. We'll tell you how to get these free gifts and how you can use them to improve profitability in your small to medium business. Stay tuned. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Profit from Legal podcast. In today's episode, I'm going to be telling you about a couple of free gifts that you can get from ExecutiveLP. It's not every day that you get free stuff from a lawyer, but today's your day. You can use these free gifts to start improving legal profitability in your business right away, and I'll explain not only how to get them and a little bit about how to use them, but how to get some quick wins for your small to medium business. First, though, I want to just introduce you to a friend of mine. Her name is Catherine Aragon. She runs Catherine Aragon Media, and she's also the host of the Authority Journey podcast. Listen, if you're struggling to achieve your goals, you're likely missing one essential ingredient: authority. Whether you know it or not, we're all on the authority journey. And to accelerate that journey, we need to make decisions that will build our authority and expand our sphere of influence. In the Authority Journey podcast, Catherine talks about the art and science of building authority, the mindsets of success, and tips for overcoming obstacles and achieving your most audacious goals. You should tune in to the Authority Journey podcast whenever you listen to podcasts and on whatever platform. And for more information, visit CatherineAragon.com. That's KatherineAragon.com, CatherineAragon.com. Now, of course, you're tuning into this podcast because you know who I am. I'm Noel Bagwell. I'm the founder of ExecutiveLP and the creator of Profit from Legal. As I've said in the last couple of episodes, I am a preventive lawyer for small businesses, and my entire practice revolves around helping small businesses use legal services to be more profitable and to prevent their legal risks from becoming legal problems. I've been doing this for the better part of a decade, and I've worked with a lot of different groups, won awards for excellent service and ethical business practices, and most importantly to me, I've achieved great results for my clients. I've saved my small business clients millions of dollars. I've helped dozens of entrepreneurs realize their dream of starting a business. I've even published a book on business formation, and I'm working on the Profit from Legal book even as we speak. But I do all of this because it's important to me that small businesses succeed. I've seen what it looks like when small businesses fail. I've seen firsthand the pain that causes. And I actually care about my clients and about small businesses generally. I have a passion for entrepreneurship and consider myself an entrepreneur first. So if you're listening to this podcast, you're listening to someone talking to you because they care about you. I realize that you get up every day, put skin in the game, lay it all on the line, get out there and earn a living to feed your family and pay your bills, and that you're a person, you're living a life, and you're not just an abstract statistic or number or a brand or something like that. You are a human, and what you're doing in your business really matters to other people. It matters not just to you, but it matters to the people who depend on you every day. So as a lawyer, it's my job and it's my privilege to support you and help you be as successful as you can. And in order to do that, I think we have to talk about a few problems that come up with small business. And then I'm going to tell you how to use the tools I'm going to put in your hands for free today to solve these problems. The first big problem is that small businesses don't reach their full profit potential. They don't become as valuable as they could because they don't build assets that they need in order to be as profitable and valuable as they can be. Small businesses tend to have leaders who are really stressed out because they're trying to do too many things. They're working outside of their primary skill set. They're not building teams. They're not delegating. They're trying to do everything themselves, and they just get overwhelmed and burned out. Another big problem is that small businesses are not typically very resilient. They can be easily disrupted. They can be disrupted by legal surprises like a lawsuit or regulation, the enforcement of a regulation. They can be disrupted by the loss of a key employee, Basically, whenever there are relationships between the business and its employees, or between the business and the government, or between the business and its customers is disrupted, the business stops functioning the way that you want it to function. It stops performing at its highest and best level. And this ultimately comes down to blind spots. The reason that those disruptions happen is because you were not able to accurately forecast the risk and then address the risk in a timely and effective and efficient way. If you're able to forecast risk and address that risk, you can prevent the problem. And if you can prevent the problem, then you would prevent the crisis that would result from the problem not being resolved. Those are the big problems. The small businesses don't tend to reach their full value potential, their full profit potential. They have leadership that's stressed out, and they're prone to disruption. They're not resilient. Legal services can help with all of those things. In fact, I'd say that legal services tend to be a force multiplier. All the other things that you're doing to address those issues of building value in your business, reducing stress, making your business more resilient, all of the things you're already doing can be improved by legal services. But you have to know how to use legal services well. You have to know how to implement the legal services alongside everything else you're doing. That's what legal operations is all about. That's what Profit from Legal is all about. Profit from Legal is an integration of legal services in and alongside everything else that you're doing in your business to be a force multiplier and to make what you're doing more efficient, more effective, more profitable. We've got a couple of tools that I'm going to put in your hands today. I mentioned those at the very outset, and before I start talking about these tools, I'm going to tell you a little bit about someone else who we've had on the podcast before and something that they're doing that I think can also help you on your journey. I mentioned Catherine Aragon earlier, but another guest that we've had on the podcast is Dr. Vic Manzo. Dr. Vic runs Empower Your Reality, which is an online mindset school that helps individuals understand all things related to the mind to help create the experience of life that they desire. It provides scientific processes through functional neurology, neuroscience, quantum physics, and universal laws to support the material presented in the online classes. It also provides one-on-one coaching to help the individual mastercraft their blueprint and guide them to create the reality they truly desire. The purpose of coaching is to get a well-rounded, better life and rediscover the greatness that you have within you. You can find out more information and sign up for upcoming classes by visiting empoweryourreality.com. And again, that's Dr. Vic Manzo. He's a chiropractor and a thought leader in the field of neurology, neuroscience, and coaching. So go talk to Dr. Vic and see what he can do for you. Okay, getting back to these problems of value, stress, risk, and the tools that you can use to help improve your business vis-a-vis these problems. The first tool is a special report I wrote for small to medium businesses. This report dives into the concept of legal profitability, explains what it is, and details why it's important for small to medium businesses. This report talks a lot about key performance indicators, especially legal key performance indicators, and breaks down the concept of legal profitability. This is a big mindset tool because a lot of small businesses believe wrongly that hiring a lawyer is going to make their business less profitable. That if you involve a lawyer, it's going to make things more complicated. It's going to reduce the profitability of your business. It's going to hurt your bottom line. That's true of a lot of lawyers, but when you hire the right lawyer, it's a completely different ballgame. When you hire the right lawyer who knows how to align legal services with your enterprise goals and deliver legal services in a way that is preventive and profitable, legal services then become a force multiplier in your business that enhance everything else that you're doing. Legal services go from being a cost center in your business to a high-value operational asset. So it's really about having the right legal service provider, something that's the right fit for your business and that's aligned with your unique goals. This is a bespoke and custom solution. And the problem with traditional legal services, and the reason that people have this impression of lawyers making a business less profitable or just being unaffordable and inaccessible to small business clients, is because they're trying to use a one-size-fits-all approach to delivering legal services to small businesses. And when you have a custom approach that is based on the right incentives and is customized to your unique needs, it's a game changer. Things can be completely different in that attorney-client relationship than they would be in a traditional sort of one-size-fits-all billable hour, retainer and hourly based attorney-client relationship. So read that Profit from Legal report. I'll tell you how to get it before the end of the podcast, so stay tuned. Dive into the details, learn about legal profitability and the other legal key performance indicators. And I think it's really going to show you how valuable and how essential legal services really are for your business. So if you've been missing out on legal and you still kind of believe, well, there's not really anything a lawyer could do for me or my business, we're too small, or we don't have the budget, or if we spent money on a lawyer, we wouldn't have the money for the other things that we need. Look at the Legal Profitability Report, take an in-depth look at that, read through it, and I think you'll come to understand how legal services can be a profitable proposition. The second tool is our 5 Legal E's Canvas, a problem-solving and relationship management tool. Now, a canvas is kind of like a worksheet, if you want to think about it that way. This one, if you were to print it out, it would print out into a quad fold brochure style worksheet. The whole thing's about 22 by 8.5 inches and has these panels that fold out. But the way you can download this is in the form of a digital PDF. So it's pretty wide on your screen, and the outer panels have our 5 Legal E's method described on each of the panels. It breaks down encounter, explore, enrich, envision, and enforce. Talks about what each of the steps of the 5 Legal E's are, and walks you through an exercise in using the 5 Legal E's to solve problems and improve relationships. If you download the digital PDF of the 5 Legal E's Canvas, you can use this over and over in your business when you encounter a problem that you want help solving, or if you're having trouble in a relationship with another person in your business, whether it's an employee, another leader, another owner in the business, you can use the 5 Legal E's Canvas to improve that relationship. So I encourage you to download the 5 Legal E's Canvas, read through it, and contact us if you want help implementing the 5 Legal E's in your business. Both of these resources, the report and the 5 Legal E's Canvas, are designed to help you improve your use of legal services in every aspect of your business. When you look at the 5 Legal E's Canvas, at first, it will appear to be a DIY type tool. It's just general problem solving and relationship management. But the questions that it compels you to ask are questions that are best answered with the help of a lawyer. If you are really looking for the maximum benefit from using those tools, both the report and the 5 Legal E's Canvas, you'll need to schedule a consultation with a lawyer to really get the most out of them. They are beneficial on their own, but you should not necessarily stop where you start with these tools. You can start by using them to the best of your ability and, reading through them, really digesting them and understanding them on your own. But if you really want to get the most out of them, give us a call, schedule a consultation. Tell us what you did with the 5 Legal E's Canvas. Tell us what you got out of the report. Ask us the questions that arose as you tried to use these tools in your business, and let us give you some insight about where to go from there. I'm going to get into a couple of use cases here in a second for the 5 Legal E's Canvas, and I'll also talk a little bit more about the report in depth. But before I do that, I just want to draw your attention to one final supporter of the podcast, someone else who's also been a guest on the Profit from Legal podcast. And if you haven't listened to these interview episodes, we're releasing a few of them a month, a couple of them a month. So go back through the episode archive and listen to those interview episodes. We're trying to bring in people who have areas of insight or areas of expertise that are legal adjacent. They're not really legal perspectives or legal issues. These guests are people in other fields. So either they're talking about mindset, or they're talking about building authority and credibility, or they're talking about building teams or building resilience. These other concepts are completely relevant to entrepreneurship, small business, and getting the most out of legal services, even though they're not strictly speaking legal concepts. So we want to bring in these folks and have them on the podcast. I think you will get a lot out of the interviews. We're not going to just create content to create content. We create it because it's valuable for you. So the last one that I'll mention in this episode is Ryan Faulkner-Hogg. And Ryan is a really interesting and curious person. He's the author of everything at atlasgeographica.com. And you can go on atlasgeographica.com and read about everything from Nassim Taleb and the Inserto to Carl Jung, Jungian psychology, powerful mental models that influence your life, issues that have to do with the environment, economics, politics. Ryan's got like 3 podcasts, and one of them is called What About When, where he interviews other interesting people. And I had the opportunity to be a guest on What About When recently, and it went really well. We had a great conversation. So I would encourage you strongly to subscribe to the What About When podcast on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to podcasts. Listen to the episode that I did with Ryan. Check out atlasgeographica.com. It's a really interesting site. I've read a bunch of the articles on there, and even the ones that I don't 100% agree with, I find very valuable. This is not about, just tuning you into an echo chamber of everybody who says the same stuff and agrees with each other. It's about challenging your mind with different perspectives so that you'll see and think about the world in new and interesting ways. Okay, so back to the 5 legalese canvas and the Profit from Legal report. Before I tell you about how to get these tools, I want to mention 1 or 2 use cases. I already kind of mentioned a little bit the use case where if you had a problem with someone in your organization or a customer or a vendor or supplier, you could use the 5 legalese canvas in order to help resolve that problem. You just go through the 5 legalese method, and we're going to do a whole episode on the 5 legalese and working through that methodology here in just a couple of weeks. But if you download the 5 legalese canvas, you'll see that method spelled out and explained in the tool. And of course, you can book a consultation to talk to us about it. But let's just talk really briefly about one very specific use case. Let's say you've got a problem with a customer who's posting untrue, negative online reviews about business. The first thing to do would be to reach out to the person who's posting the negative online reviews. And we want to start with the step we call encounter. The encounter step is supposed to help you objectively evaluate what's working and what isn't in your business. It's about engaging with your circumstances, observing where you are and how you got there and how that makes you feel. You can call this person or reach out to this person, have a customer service representative in your business, reach out to the person who's posted the online review. You might even do this directly within the online review itself, within the comment system. And you might simply say, we're very disappointed that the experience that you had didn't match your expectations. We would love to have the opportunity to work with you to resolve your concerns. Please reach us at this phone number or this email address where they can follow up with you. And then whenever you connect to the person, even at the outset, even if they never reach out to you, anyone else who sees that comment or sees that response to their review is going to perceive the company as not unreasonable and willing to work to resolve issues that arise. For most people, that's enough to get them over the hurdle of demonizing the business because of what was perceived to be a negative encounter. If someone sees a negative review, they see that it was a bad experience for the person who leaves the review, but then they see the business reaching out to try to make it better. It makes it easier for the new customer to forgive the business, and it takes a lot of the sting out of that negative review. But when you connect with the person, let's objectively state the problem to be solved. Say, this is what happened, or this is what they perceive happened, and how can we make it better in the future? That is a great segue into the next step, which is explore. State what outcome is both achievable in the next 6 months and a satisfactory solution or improvement. And I would say to the person who left a negative review, we want to encourage you to revise your review. We want to encourage you, we're not even going to ask you to take it down. We want to turn this failure into a win. Because right now, what you've told is half the story. You told the story about the problem you solved, and that's legitimate and valid. Even if we disagree with how you perceive that transaction or that interaction, it's still only half the story, because today we're here at the midway point in this whole narrative to talk about how the story ends. And how the story ends is with some kind of resolution that leaves you satisfied and happy. What is it that we can do to correct the problem that led to you leaving a negative review? Negotiate with them, talk to them about what outcome you can achieve with them in order to resolve the problem. Then, in the next step, which we call enrich, you list and describe systems and processes essential to the outcome. Note the ones that need to change, decide which steps are directionally correct, which are not, and which could be with minor changes. You need to be clear on the process. So talk to them about the timeline for resolving the problem in the case of the negative reviews online, just applying this principle and this process to our facts. Talk to them about what steps you're going to take in order to resolve the issue. In the next step, which is called envision, you want to make sure that you and the other person are really clear on the vision that you have for the outcome, because on the front end, you can forecast potential disappointment, and you want to head that off. So you want to make sure that you state what the outcome is that you're trying to get, how you're going to get there, and then list any relevant statements of policy, values, or principles that you need the other person to understand. So if you have a returns policy or you have a non-discrimination policy in your business, you need to communicate the fact that you have those policies and that the action you're taking is going to be done consistent with those policies. That way, the other person has a reasonable expectation of how you're going to do what you're going to do, and that you're going to do it in a way that's consistent with your company's values and way of doing things. Then finally, if it's relevant, talk about the enforcement methodology. Talk about what, in general, in the exercise, we ask the small business owner to list what handbooks, manuals, guides, and reporting processes need to be created in order to make sure the team stays on track. In the context of something like dealing with someone who's posted a negative online review, this might take the form of a scheduled follow-up. So once you've said, this is what we're going to do, here's how we're going to do it, we're going to do it in a way that's consistent with this policy, and we're going to follow up with you at such and such time. Set the expectation and then meet that expectation. And part of the follow-up should be setting a clear expectation that once the matter is resolved, as you have agreed that you're going to resolve it, the review that they've posted online will be updated to reflect the change that was made and the ultimate outcome, so that the negative online review won't be the end of the story. Hopefully, that text review, whatever they typed, whatever the nature of their complaint was, will be updated along with the star rating. If they initially give you a 2-star review and that's negative, then after talking to them and resolving the issue and taking all the steps that you agree upon, maybe that star rating jumps up from 2 to 4. And don't feel bad, by the way, when it comes to online reviews. This is just kind of a tangent. Don't feel bad about online reviews that are 4 stars instead of 5 stars if it's a 5-star scale, because studies show that people actually trust a business that has between 4 and 5 stars more than they trust a business that just exclusively has 5-star reviews. Because if you have 100% perfect A+ 5-star reviews everywhere, it seems artificial. People understand that there are going to be problems, and what they want to see is that you acknowledge that there are problems and you work to improve them, and you are a good faith business partner. So if they're buying goods and services from you, they just want to know that you're a decent person to work with. They don't expect you to be perfect. Nobody expects you to be perfect. People do expect you to admit when you make a mistake, own the mistake, correct the mistake, and have good moral character. If you can do that, you can build trust in the marketplace, and your reviews overall will be positive, and that's the goal. This is just one example of how you can use the 5 Legalese Canvas to improve relationships. You can apply this methodology and this process that's in the 5 Legalese Canvas over and over and over throughout your business in a multitude of different contexts. You can use it for relationship improvement. You can also use it for problem solving. It's just a very versatile tool. So how do you get these? How do you get the Profit from Legal report and the 5 Legalese Canvas? Well, you start with another free tool. Start with the Legal Profitability ScoreCard. When you go to profitfromlegal.com, at the top of the page, there's a video, and it introduces Profit from Legal and breaks down the general concepts of the program. But underneath that video, there's a button that says, Take the Profit from Legal ScoreCard. You just click that button, and it'll take you straight to the Profit from Legal ScoreCard. It takes less than 10 minutes to complete this exercise. And on the results page, you'll see a link to download the Profit from Legal report and the 5 Legalese Canvas. There's also a link on that page to book in for a 10-minute chat. We want to talk to you about the results that you get from the Profit from Legal ScoreCard. We also want to talk to you about how you're using these free tools that we're putting into your hands. We want to get a general sense of what your needs are, what problems you're trying to solve, what relationships you're trying to improve, and how we can help. The free 10-minute consultation is a powerful way for us to give you some quick wins and some additional insight. And we can also evaluate during that very brief conversation whether or not you're a good fit for the Profit from Legal program or even one of our insight workshops. So grab the scorecard today, go to profitfromlegal.com, take that scorecard, get an idea from the questions that are asked in the scorecard of what your lawyer should be doing for you in order to add value to your business, reduce stress, improve your resilience, and improve your profitability. Once you get your result and you can kind of see the areas that you need to focus on, book in for that 10-minute chat. Get some insight really quick from us. And whenever we do that 10-minute diagnostic, we'll schedule one of the Profit from Legal Insight workshops if that's the right fit for you, and we can just go from there. It really is not hard to work with a small business lawyer. We talked earlier in the episode about how people think wrongly that adding a lawyer to your team is going to obliterate profitability, that it's going to make your business less profitable, it's going to make it harder for you to make ends meet, it's going to leave you with fewer resources. None of that is true. In fact, if you hire the right lawyer, one who knows how to track and measure and report on the value that they provide, and one who knows how to enhance the value of your company, how to make your life less stressful, how to make your business more resilient and less prone to disruption, your business will become more profitable as the result of hiring the right business lawyer. And we can show you exactly how to do that. And it won't cost you a thing to get started with the Legal Profitability ScoreCard. You'll get these really great free tools, the Profit from Legal Report, as well as the 5 Legal Ease Canvas, and you can start using those to get quick wins in your business right away. Making the wrong decisions in business, even if you're a highly educated, highly intelligent person, is a real risk in every business. Making the right decisions and mastering intimately the business of what you do, not just being a technician, but being a master strategist when it comes to your business, is absolutely crucial. And most small business owners are really good at what they do. They're not always the best at the business of what they do. And you need someone to help you with that. You need a good accountant. You need a good lawyer. You need someone who can help you get the right insurance, not too much, not too little. Someone who can help you get access to capital, whether it's investment or a business loan or something like that. All of the people in your support team have to be working together and have to be following your lead and have to receive tasks from you that you delegate because you understand you are not the best person to do those things yourself. There's nothing wrong with acknowledging those limitations because we all have them. Part of being a responsible business owner is delegation, it's team building, it's understanding the business of what you do enough to know that you can't do it all yourself. We understand all of those things about our clients. We understand our role in your organization and what we could be doing for you if you would let us. Even if you don't understand that, we do, and we can help you. We can tell you what it is we should be doing and the ways that we can contribute to the success of your business. So reach out to us, grab these free tools. I think you're going to get so much out of using them, but not nearly as much as you'll get out of using them after you book in for a 10-minute chat and just start the conversation with a lawyer. It doesn't have to be the stereotypical way that you imagine attorney-client relationships being, because there are really different lawyers out there, people who are different from the stereotype, people who actually care about you at a human level and care about your business and want to see you succeed. Let us help you with that. That's all for this episode of the Profit from Legal podcast. Thanks for listening to this episode. And if you're a regular listener, thanks for listening to the podcast and all the interviews. I think if you go back and you check out the interviews with the guests that I mentioned in this episode, you'll get a lot out of those interviews too. Check out our sponsors. They're just phenomenal people. We've really enjoyed connecting with them. I have had personal conversations with each of them, and I think that they're good people. Share this episode of the podcast with your friends. Subscribe on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts. Thanks again for listening, and we'll talk to you in the next episode of the Profit from Legal podcast. Until then, I'm your host, Noel Bagwell for Profit from Legal.